For men, I don't know what it is with men. I don't know if
they're protective or something.
Not even that they're protective, or if they feel like the pussy is tarnished.
That's okay. So I feel like there's nothing in between anymore. There's either like men, the pussy started. I feel like there's either men who are like, let's do poly. You f her, I f him, we're all good to go. Or there's men that are like, you better be a virgin. Like I feel like there's nothing in between. And if I had to choose one, I would choose that one. So I don't want to f it up for him.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong because that shit. Because if anything, then just when you get to find a man, then what you do is just wait maybe like a week and a half or two. Well, I don't know how long you wait till you first do the deed, but like give it some time before you enter if you don't want any past relationship stretches in that area to be felt. I don't know what the I don't know what you're wrapped around in that aspect of like past people. That's the thing. That's what annoys me. We'll talk about peeves, but that's what annoys me about like body counts in relationships. When people talk about body counts, I'm like, who the gives a shit about a body count? Yeah, and it's like, what do you're expecting? Like what, single digit numbers in the 2023? I was like,
also, I'm 35. Like, do you think I've been with less than 10 people at age 35? I'd be a loser.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not to mention our generation, we were making out in the stairwells at 12, 13. Like, I don't know where you went to school at, but I went to public school in New York.
I did my first, I did a fingering. I think I did a fingering in the classroom. Did you?
In the classroom was wild. I definitely did it in the stairwell and got blown in the stairwell. But yeah, that is I feel as far as American, growing up, the comeuppance in America,
yeah.
especially with how we have our pop culture where we think about stuff like Teen Mom.
What?
Like MTV on Teen Mom?
Apparently I'm not part of the culture because I don't even know what that is.
You don't know Teen Mom on MTV? But so that was big when we were in high school. Teen Mom, what was it? All these like young pregnant women, Maury, like that type of atmosphere. That was what we were accustomed to. So like, it's like sex was on our zeitgeist of thoughts at such a young age. So like us trying to imitate that life and be in that life and being a part of that life, we were so young and being exposed to it. I know that I was.
Well, and like pornography started becoming normalized by the time we were like 10 years old.
And the accessibility, like I was watching, real sex and Taxi Cab Confessions at a very young age. And I remember I saw my first pair of tits at like 6 and I was infatuated, and I've since been infatuated. But like it was that exposure to it that just allowed this acceleration, and so when you talk about like body count, like it's just like, what are we doing here? What are we talking about here? What purist are you?
Also, like what would be the difference between, let's say a girl had an ex that she dated for 10 years and they had great sex. What would be the difference between her having one dick in her 1,000,000 times versus 20 dicks probably less times? Like,
oh, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's like wearing one sweater for one life, or
like
that's wow. You just broke my brain with that one.
She still got probably more times. I mean, unless it was a bad relationship, but if she was in like a long-term relationship, she still was getting dick in her. It was just one dick over and over again.
I like that.
And that's more stressful because then that makes it like more of a competition, because it's like she had the same dick. That dick must be good. Yes,
exactly. And not only that, that's an emotional attachment to the dick as well at that point in juncture, because I've had some shit that I've been in a relationship for a while, and we separated, and then there was talk, we had tried to be cordial, but there was talk about like her first the first sexual experience after me, and like how it was just like an emotional, because we were together for years, and then now we're not, and then now she's having her first sexual experience
with another person. It feels weird,
and like it was like emotional type deal. So though having that scenario with one person, that's even more,
that's worse,
of
like
a detachment. That's harder of a detachment for somebody. So that's an interesting thought. I like that. I feel
like that's what comedians do. They like try to find like the case that no one thought of. I feel like that's like a comedian thing. Yeah,
for sure, because there's so many similar thought processes in the ether that you're like, oh well, what am I gonna try to say on stage that nobody said?
Yeah,
how can I go at this angle?
Like you try to convince somebody of something that they've never heard, and at first they're like, what? And the idea is like by the end, like convince them that you're correct.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what the great ones do.